trying to solve these two problems, like make all of the energy that America needs, but also we want to solve for the whole planet, the energy for the whole planet, and you want to get climate change. So you can phrase that question as, what do we have to build? All right, so here's the US power consumption by source. We need to make about 3.5 terawatts of power for the US, and about 1 of those terawatts is for the US electricity grid. And then globally, we need 16 or 18 terawatts of power, and that's if we keep demand constant. So if we need 16 terawatts, we can get about 2 or 3 of those terawatts from fossil fuels in about 20 years' time, so we have to lower the amount of fossil fuels down to that. We can get about 1.5 terawatts from the existing non-carbon sources. That's the hydroelectric already installed, that's the nuclear power plants already installed. So what does this really mean? It means globally, we need 11.5 terawatts or more of new clean energy, and you've got to do it pretty much in 20 to 30 years, maybe on the outside 50 years. All right, and let's have a wild stab at what that looks like for humanity. So let's say in 2033, we're going to make those 11.5 new terawatts in the following way. We're going to do 3 terawatts of nuclear, 2 terawatts of geothermal, 2 terawatts of wind, 2 terawatts of solar thermal, and 2 terawatts of photovoltaic. We'll also do another 0.5 terawatt of biofuels. So we'll be pretty even across the board. We're going to take some from all of the sources that we know work. All right, what does it mean you have to do starting tomorrow? It means starting tomorrow, we need to do 100 square meters of 15% efficient solar cells, they're really good solar cells, installed somewhere on the planet every second for the next 25 years. We need to do 2 terawatts of new solar thermal. So this is where you take large mirrors, you point those mirrors at a sort of a heat engine, you heat up that heat engine and run a steam engine, and you generate electricity. You need to install 50 square meters of those mirrors every second, second after second, for the next 25 years. Now we're starting to get a scope of the size of the problem. In terms of 2 terawatts of wind, we need to take a 3 megawatt wind turbine and install it somewhere in the world every 5 minutes for the next 25 years. A 3 megawatt wind turbine is the size of a very large building, about 100 yards across the blades. To get the 3 terawatts of new nuclear power we want, you've got to build roughly a 3 gigawatt nuclear power plant every week for the next 25 years. So that's something, a typical nuclear power plant every week for the next 25 years. In terms of geothermal, you've got to build 300 megawatt steam turbines every day for the next 25 years. Again, each one of those 100 megawatt machines is the size of a building, and it has large holes drilled into the ground to extract the heat energy from geothermal sources. Finally, biofuels. What do you have to do to get a 0.5 terawatt of biofuels? You've got to fill an Olympic swimming pool with genetically engineered algae that's 3% efficient at converting photons or solar energy into electricity, and you've got to build one of those swimming pools every second for the next 25 years. That's an enormous amount of stuff that we have to build, and in the next 25 years. You might say that is impossible. There is some good news. Humanity actually produced 10 terawatts of new power generating capacity in the last 40 years. So in some respects, we already know the scale of the problem. The difference this time is we can't be doing it with oil rigs and coal diggers. We have to do it with these new forms of energy. But it is encouraging to us that we can produce 10 terawatts or more of power in the next 25 years. We just have to be very clever about how we do it, and we have to do it really, really quickly.